Do you have olive skin and you want to know what to wear? Well, you can wear whatever you want, of course, anytime. But if you feel like it is a difficult undertone to navigate, ditch seasonal color analysis. You don't need it because your colors are not going to lie within any season. First of all, let's understand what olive skin is. Olive green is a color that you obtain by actually taking yellow and darkening it or muting it. Okay? But of course, your skin is not literally olive green. Your skin tone is orange that is muted, and when orange is muted, some of that yellow that is present in orange takes on this greenish hue. And it's very subtle, and so of course, you're not the Incredible Hulk, right? You don't literally look green, but it's an undertone, right? It's just this little hint of it. And yet this little hint, right, our skin undertones are very important. They can really make such a huge difference, whether that's with makeup or with finding clothes that we feel look better and more seamless on us. So I don't think you have to spend too much time worrying about whether you're cool, neutral, or warm. I know that a lot of people who have an olive skin tone tend to focus a bit on that. But with skin undertone, there are patterns that don't necessarily have to do with warmth or coolness. It has to do with that specific hue, that color, that is a greenish color. So the most obvious color that you can wear and that's going to look very seamless, very native to you is olive green. If your undertone is olive green as a color that you wear is probably going to look very natural on you, very native to you, as are colors in that family. So green is likely a very easy color for you to wear. Now, each individual may have preferences regarding how bright they can go. What if you go a little warmer? What if you go a little cooler with your greens? Everyone's going to have a different experience because olive skin can exist, as I said, in slightly warmer or cooler varieties. And also, it can be pale olive green skin as it can be a deeper brown olive green skin. But colors in that family are likely to work for you. And now, because olive green is a very muted or darkened yellow, you can also try out muted yellows, mustard, ochre, maybe a butter yellow, a softer yellow. What about a pure, brightly saturated yellow? I think that's going to depend on each individual. You don't necessarily have to shy away from bright colors, but what you can do is experiment to see how far you can go before a color feels too loud and like it's stealing all the attention away from you. Now we have other colors that have a similar feel to olive green and muted yellow, such as a beige, a camel. I think those colors also work really well for you. And you could also think of wearing a muted gold or bronze and cream and ivory. And what about brown? Well, as we said, your olive undertone is actually very muted orange. So brown is very much in that family of colors that you can experiment with. And orange itself is not necessarily a bad color. This is where I think the warmth versus cool factor might play a role. Perhaps if you're on the warmer side of olive, maybe you find it easier to wear orange. Maybe you go for a more muted orange, a burnt orange, a terracotta, something like that. You have to play with the intensities, but a bright orange could be a little tricky for some of you if you feel it looks a little separate. Now, another interesting group of colors are blues and teals, because what's going to happen is when you wear blues and teals, what are the opposite colors to blue and teal? What is the complementary color? And that's generally orange, right? So when you wear blue or a teal, that can make your skin look like it's a little more orange than it actually is, which can be an interesting thing. I think it can make your skin look like it has this tan, and generally speaking, people don't really mind if their skin looks a little orange, unless we're talking about that very exaggerated look that you could get from wearing tanning lotion. Blue is usually not a very controversial color. Most people can wear blue. So I think you're very safe and comfortable experimenting with different shades and nuances of blue and find those that you like the best. And it's important to experiment. Now, another type of color that I actually like for you, although this might require some attention, it's actually red. But Debs, red is the complementary color of green. Isn't red going to make my skin look very green? Not necessarily. I tend to find that people with olive undertones can wear like a true red fairly well. And if we adopt cyan, magenta, and yellow as our true primary colors, red is actually the complementary color of teal, or cyan actually, and not green. So I don't actually think of all the colors that there are in a color wheel, I don't think red is the one that's going to exaggerate the green. What is going to exaggerate the green is the colors that are in that rest of the color wheel spectrum we haven't addressed yet. Those are the ones that I think can really bring out a lot of yellowish green and look a little separate, because whereas olive green as a color is going to blend with your skin and it's going to look very native and natural, when you're wearing purple and magenta and possibly pinks that have a very cool icy undertone, those colors look disconnected from you. And they can really exaggerate the yellowish green colors that are in your undertone. So, will I tell you not to wear them? No, but is it likely that those are going to be a little tricky for you? Yes, but some colors that might work for you really well: burgundy, mauve, and mauve might actually be a really great makeup color for you, okay, for your lipstick and your blusher, for instance, because it's a quite muted color. And as we've seen, olive skin is skin that has a lot of gray in it, right? It's a muted orange. It's a grayed orange. If you wear these kind of muted mauvish colors, perhaps taupe, if there's a lot of gray in it, like if the gray is the thing that makes the color connect more with your skin undertone, and if that gray also helps reel in the coolness of the pigment, then that could be an avenue for you to explore. Of course, you can wear colors in combination with others that you find more flattering and see if that's not a way to integrate colors that might otherwise be a little tricky for you. And you could also try to wear a reddish plum that has a little more depth to it. I find that when I see people with olive skin wearing this type of color, it tends to look really beautiful. A lot of people who have olive undertone gravitate very naturally to neutral colors. And here is where I feel like you can wear just about every neutral there is. You'll be able to wear, as we spoke, you'll be able to wear beige, camel, those types of colors, cream. You'll be able to wear gray because you have a lot of gray in your complexion. You'll be able to wear black, probably. A lot of people who have an olive complexion are brunettes, have dark hair, but this is not always going to be the case. But if you do have dark hair, black will tend to mirror that, and so it will look really good. And also, what is gray if not a light black? So muted colors tend to work fairly well with black. So even if you don't have black hair, I personally don't believe that you have to have dark hair to wear black, okay? This is a subject for another day. But lots of people can wear black. Even people who have blonde hair can wear black. Okay. White, possibly. So many pieces are staples. Staple's not the right word because I'm not a big believer in staple, but they have this kind of iconic status in our culture. Blue jeans, a white tee, So I wouldn't want to tell anyone don't wear white. I think white can work for you. And in some cases, white might even make you look like you're more bronzed, like your skin color is popping a little more. So what other neutral colors do we have? We have navy, we have khaki green. I don't see why those colors wouldn't work for you. Now, with any color, you could always try tweaking the level of softness. What if I darken it? have that curiosity, play around, because you might be surprised and find colors that I haven't mentioned that you didn't expect to work for you, but that's because you tried a specific type of, let's say you tried a specific type of orange and it didn't work for you, but there might be a different shade or nuance of orange you haven't tried, and then when you do, you surprise yourself and you find that you really like. So I don't want this video to be a set of rules of what you can or cannot wear. Have the willingness to try something new. Clothes are free to try. If having an olive skin complexion is something that has been holding you back from being more adventurous with color, I hope that this is a push for you to try things out that maybe you haven't tried. And also understand that it is okay if not every color works for you, or if you feel like your range of makeup colors is a little tricky. We all have our cross to bear, like every undertone has its challenges. You should not try to compare yourself with people who have a rosy complexion, a peachy complexion, because the reality is we all thrive when we embrace what is unique about us, when we all understand that we have a unique niche that we can fill. So don't try to compare yourself with others, and try to eliminate the word sallow from your vocabulary, because, okay, I really find it very negative when people talk about olive skin in that, with that framework of it looking sallow. It only looks sallow if you're wearing colors and trying on makeup that was not designed for you. So get in the mindset of what is unique and special about your skin undertone. As with everything, you just have to not compare yourself with someone else, and you have to embrace that that is who you are.